And the police state ends with me. And we made it one more day. Now, folks, it is a terrible fact that our Constitution and civil and human rights are at the whims of the weakest link of the government, and that is the Bartlesville Police. Because it doesn't matter what the citizens believe the Constitution or civil rights say, or a scholar says, or anyone else. It is all about the daily experience with the police in the United States of America. The daily experience with the police directly with the citizens, that is truly what matters the most. We know the Supreme Court favors the police over the general citizens. We've seen that for sure. But it goes beyond that. See, if it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter if every other person in this country, from the president to the courts and all the citizens, believe we have civil rights. If the police, the Bartlesville Police, are not held accountable, which they are not, and the Bartlesville Police say you have no rights, then, and they're fascist dictators and rulers, they say that, then that is the country we live in. If the Bartlesville Police say you have no rights, and that they make the rules as fascist dictators, then that is the country you live in. It doesn't matter what's on that paper. It does not matter what's on paper. As long as your local police connecting with you, forcing contacts with you, approaching you, harassing you, never leaving you alone, trespassing, if they're approaching you and treating it like worse than a third world country, then you have no rights because they say so, and no one's ever going to hold them accountable for breaching rights. If your local police don't follow the Constitution and civil and human rights, then you have no rights because they are more likely to get struck by lightning 3 times than to be held accountable for breaching someone's civil and human rights in the Constitution. I mean, there's this Constitution that's supposed to mean everything. It's the core of our country, our government, our civil and human rights. It's the core of everything we represent to the world and to every individual citizen. But yet there's no one enforcing it. Not for the citizens. And when I say no one, I mean virtually no one. There's virtually no one that will even listen to a human rights or civil rights violation in this country. They don't even care, and I mean fellow citizens even. Nobody seems to care about their fellow man anymore. I mean, they have these concepts of caring, that they think they have these big concepts of caring about people in general, but when they see one person being harmed, they just go, well, that person deserved it, and walks away. They don't even care about the facts. They don't care if the police are lying, if they're stealing. They don't care. They just say, I'm not getting involved. I don't care. I've been trained since I was born to love and respect the police, to believe we have leaders in the United States instead of representatives. When I've said it before, the word leader, leadership, and lead are nowhere in the Constitution. But the words represent, representation, and representative are in there a total of 40 times. We don't have leaders, but people, they go, I've been trained my whole life to be nothing but competitive towards my fellow man. They fight everybody for the next scrap that's left over for the, after the rich people take 99.9% of it. Fight. And so when they hear somebody say, hey, there's something wrong here, they want to ignore it. And the big thing here is people actually believe that you should suppress your First Amendment. They say, well, that's overboard. They say, oh, well, you're going too far. Well, listen, okay, when the police breach your civil and human rights, put your life at risk, steal your property, trespass, smear mud on the walls of your home, take away the sanctity of one's home and safety in it, and they take away any ability because it goes all the way to a corrupt judge. There's absolutely no ability to use the courts to resolve this. Anyone who thinks there is naive and stupid. Both naive and stupid, because they're not thinking it through. What, am I supposed to go stand before the same judge that allowed this to happen? That's stupid. And I'm not stupid like that. So they take away that. Citizens aren't allowed to hold the police accountable. They take away the courts from me, and they do these things. The only thing I have is my First Amendment right. And I post truthful things. Now, if you think they're too aggressive and too rough, if I post something that says that the Bartlesville Police have an armored vehicle, and I believe that that's militarizing the police, and that's incorrect, that's fact. That's what I believe. If you think it goes too far to say that they have AR-15s, Armalite rifles, and that I believe that the only people that are ever going to be able to use those on is a citizen at their whim. Come on, it's like a 1 in a trillion chance that we're ever going to get a friggin' out-of-country terrorist in the United States, I mean, in Oklahoma. All this weaponizing, I know, is to come to people like me, innocent people's houses, and terrorize them. Steal their property. Threaten them. Let them know they're not safe to campaign for city council because they don't want me on city council. Believe me, they don't want that, because I'm not just going to unanimously approve these fascist things, these lies. And if I post something that video of Bartlesville Chief of Police speaks propaganda, there's evidence in that. His speech. It's a fact. He's standing up there saying my officers are at risk. There hasn't been an officer lose a life in this town in 80 damned years. And again, at the end of that video, I say I wish no one would ever lose a life. I don't believe in violence. Citizen or police officer. And I was raised by a retired police officer. I care. I don't want to see that. But to pretend that there's harm going to come to a police officer from United States citizens or a terrorist that there's like a 1 in a trillion chance of, which is stupid. You have about 50 billion times more chance of dying in your car today driving to work. Is everybody going to lock their car away and never use it again? Come on, that's stupid. We got to get past that crap, this fear. Home of the brave? Step up and be home of the brave. I only have one thing. I don't have friends. They've all run for the hills. They're all scared of the Bartlesville Police. Everybody's scared of them. My family, they don't want to have anything to do with it. They want to stay friends with friends of Mike Moore and James Brazel. They don't want to damage relationships, and they're scared that Mike Moore and James Brazel will retaliate on them at the hospital, and they need to use the hospital. So they want to run away too. They don't even want people to know they're related to me. Isn't that cute? I have one thing, and that's my First Amendment right. And I've been blocked from all these websites, and I'm getting told to stop posting on websites, which if they tell me to stop, I have to. That's more strong than blocking even. When someone tells you, because if you don't stop posting on their website then, truthful comments, factual, if you don't stop, then they can report you to Facebook and you can get shut down. And that's what's going to happen eventually. And, you know, these people don't want to hear the truth. They want to cover this up. They want to cover up this corruption. They don't want to risk, the media doesn't want to risk not being able to get that next interview with Sheriff so-and-so or this police officer or whatever and get a nice report they can put up there and sell some newspapers. That's what they really care about. Not the truth. Then just playing of, oh, it's impartial and I need, you know, I'm a very impartial. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not out for the truth. If you're impartial, you wouldn't act like this is a 50-50 event. This is a 100% fascist criminal organization in the Bartlesville Police doing what they did to me. 100%. There's no 50-50 here. And playing like there is and impartiality makes you a liar. They, the Bartlesville Police, can and do behave as a roaming gang of armed robbers and criminals, breaking people's legs, eye sockets, abusing them, hitting unarmed citizens with their cars, harassing them, bullying them, stealing from them, and worse. Folks, I'll likely bring forward a video in the next few days to prove every one of those things. Breaking people's legs, running over citizens with their cars on purpose, breaking people's eye sockets, tasing them after breaking their legs. This is not hyperbole. You want this? You guys want this? The citizens want that. They do. The majority want this. You've all gone crazy. What in the world is wrong with you people? That you actually want this. You actually want a police force going around breaking people's legs, even if they're the people you don't care about. You want that? You don't think it's going to come around? What comes around goes around. Eventually it's going to come back and get you too. Are you that stupid that you can't see that? That eventually your kid, who doesn't matter that comes from a rich family, might not look like it someday walking down the street, and a cop might just think he can get over on that kid and beat him to death. Break their legs, break their eye socket. Don't you see what this heads towards? This is how we got to this dead-end road with this police state already. How much worse is it going to get? I won't even go into today what's going on in Chicago with all this cover-up attempts that went on 13 months about shooting that 17-year-old child, murder. The Constitution and civil and human rights are up to the weakest link in the system. The weakest link is the Bartlesville Police. Bunch of cretins. Bunch of thieving weasels. I got a whole video about that. These people have no courage or honor. These are criminals, organized criminals. Because they say you have no rights, and they will breach your civil and human rights and the Constitution and just lie about it, and the DA and the judges will just back them up. And the fascist corporates up here, Mike Moore and James Brazel, they'll push for them to do these things to people they don't like. Use them as their hired guns. Make people know their life's at risk every minute they live in this town. We are a police state. That's what this country is now. And we are the worst police state of any country in the world. The police kill more citizens per capita in the United States of America than in any other country in the world. And they also imprison more as well. And you can go back and watch videos about that. World record police state. This is outrageous. Everybody pounds their chest. Oh, great country, great country, great country. They're killing us. The police in this country steal more from innocent citizens than all the burglaries combined. I'm not worried about a criminal that's not a police officer. The difference between a criminal that might want to come and mess with me is that I can defend myself and stay out of jail for it. The difference between a police officer that's a criminal is they can come and do anything they want to you, and if you even remotely, even verbally say, please don't breach my civil rights, they can kill you. You can't defend yourself against a police department or a police officer that's a criminal. I can defend myself against just a plain old criminal, and I ain't scared of them. You can't defend yourself against a criminal police officer. They'll kill you. And all these citizens apparently will just think it's okay. Well, they said he needed to be killed, so I guess that's okay. Doesn't matter that all these other first world countries don't manage to kill their people at such high rates. Just magically everybody in the United States is a criminal enough to kill them. It's utterly sickening. The police state ends with me. And with that said, I'll see you tomorrow.